Imagine a world where your abilities are not fixed, where intelligence is not a static trait, and where your true potential is determined not by what you were born with, but by how you choose to approach challenges, setbacks, and learning itself. This is the world that Carol S. Dweck invites us to explore in her groundbreaking book, Mindset: The New Psychology of Success. At the heart of Dweck's research lies a simple but powerful idea, the concept of mindset. She identifies two distinct mindsets that shape the way we perceive ourselves and our abilities: the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe that their intelligence, talents, and abilities are set in stone. They see success as the affirmation of inherent skill and failure as evidence of inadequacy. For them, effort is something to be avoided because it signals a lack of talent. On the other hand, those with a growth mindset understand that abilities can be developed through dedication, effort, and learning. They embrace challenges, persist through obstacles, and see failure as an opportunity to grow. This fundamental difference in perspective impacts every area of our lives, from school and sports to business and relationships. When we believe our qualities are carved in stone, we feel an urgent need to prove ourselves over and over. Every situation becomes a test. Will I succeed or fail? Will I look smart or dumb? Will I be accepted or rejected? But when we adopt a growth mindset, we transform these tests into opportunities for growth. We ask, what can I learn from this? And how can I get better? Dweck's research spans decades and draws upon studies with children, athletes, teachers, and corporate leaders. In one famous experiment, she gave students a set of challenging puzzles and then praised them in two different ways, some for their intelligence and others for their effort. The results were striking. Those praised for intelligence, the fixed mindset group, became risk-averse, avoiding harder tasks for fear of looking less smart. Those praised for effort, the growth mindset group, embraced challenges, persisted longer, and enjoyed the process, regardless of outcome. This concept doesn't just apply to children, but to adults as well. In workplaces, Dweck found that organizations with a fixed mindset culture bred fear, internal competition, and a reluctance to innovate. Employees felt compelled to prove themselves and avoid mistakes at all costs. In contrast, companies that fostered a growth mindset encouraged risk-taking, collaboration, and resilience. People were more willing to share ideas, learn from criticism, and adapt to change. The implications for leadership are profound. Leaders with a fixed mindset often surround themselves with people who reinforce their own sense of superiority, stifling dissent and innovation. They see talent as a finite resource and are quick to assign blame when things go wrong. Growth mindset leaders, by contrast, recognize the potential in others, encourage feedback, and create an environment where learning is valued over ego. They understand that great teams are not born but built through continual effort, learning, and adaptation. In the realm of education, Dweck's findings have sparked a revolution in how teachers approach their students. Instead of labeling students as smart or struggling, educators are encouraged to praise the process, effort, strategies, persistence, rather than innate ability. This shift helps students develop a love of learning and a resilience that will serve them throughout their lives. When children believe they can grow their intelligence, they become more motivated, more engaged, and less likely to give up when faced with difficulties. Dweck's research also extends to sports, where the difference between fixed and growth mindsets can be the difference between stagnation and greatness. Elite athletes, she found, were not necessarily those with the most natural talent, but those who were most willing to put in the work, learn from failure, and continually push their limits. They saw setbacks as part of the journey, not as a verdict on their abilities. Relationships, too, are transformed by mindset. In a fixed mindset, it's easy to interpret conflicts or challenges as signs that something is fundamentally wrong. Growth-minded individuals, however, see these moments as opportunities to deepen understanding, communicate more effectively, and strengthen their bonds. They are more willing to apologize, forgive, and grow together. But how do we transition from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset? Dweck emphasizes that mindsets are not all or nothing. We all have a mix of both, and our mindset can change depending on the situation. The key is awareness, recognizing when our fixed mindset voice is taking over. That voice might whisper, "You're just not good at this," or "You'll never be able to do that." The growth mindset voice, on the other hand, says, "You can learn this with practice," or "Let's figure out what you can do differently next time." Cultivating a growth mindset is a lifelong journey. It begins with embracing challenges rather than avoiding them, persisting in the face of setbacks, learning from criticism, and finding inspiration in the success of others. It means replacing the question, "Will I succeed?" with "What can I learn?" and redefining success as progress, not perfection. Dweck also warns against what she calls the false growth mindset, the idea that simply praising effort, regardless of result, is enough. A true growth mindset involves not just hard work, but smart work. Learning from mistakes, seeking out feedback, and constantly refining your approach. Ultimately, mindset is a call to action. It challenges us to examine the beliefs that shape our lives and to choose the path of growth over comfort. Whether you are a student, a parent, a teacher, a leader, or simply someone striving to become better, the message is clear. Your potential is not predetermined. With the right mindset, you can develop your abilities, overcome obstacles, and achieve more than you ever thought possible. The journey begins with a single step, a willingness to believe that you can change, and the courage to try. By embracing the growth mindset, you open the door to a lifetime of learning, resilience, and fulfillment. The power to transform your life is within your reach, and it starts with the way you think.